Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. Hey, YouTube, what's the deal? It is your girl, Miss Honey, here for another P-Valley review. This is actually the season finale of season 2. And as you can see, I'm not in my normal studio. I'm at the family compound, so the landline is probably going to ring at any moment. Because my people are still have a landline, right? So stay tuned for that. Also, again, like we talked about, this is the season finale of season 2 of P-Valley, and it is entitled Mississippi Rule. Not to, give the impression that this episode is all about Mississippi, even though we've kind of been building up to that. The whole Mississippi storyline actually falls flat, but we're going to talk about it. I think Mississippi Rule, the name of this episode, really probably speaks a little bit more to what's going on in Chucalissa, Mississippi, and how things ended up panning out for this season finale. We still don't know if we're going to get a season 3 yet. We have no idea. It hasn't been said yet. We did go ahead and do, because you guys know Raising Kanan also airs tonight. And so we've already done our panel podcast discussion conversation about P-Valley. And someone brought a very, very good point up that we may be stalled out on season 3 because of the lawsuit from Nikki Gilbert, who says the whole concept and show was her idea. And so I think that's still something that's ongoing. And so not sure if that's why we haven't gotten a guarantee on season 3 yet. But as far as I'm concerned, if they're not going to expand and have more conversation about the Uncle Clifford character, if we're not going to get to know that character any more than what we already have, I don't know if a season 3 is necessary. If we're going to keep it in this sort of peripheral kind of way where we really don't dive too deep into some of our main characters, what's the point? You know what I mean? It's tons of entertaining stuff. It's tons of guffaw and buffoonery out there for us to enjoy. We don't have to have it in this capacity. They don't really owe me anything else outside of that. So I just feel like if it doesn't come back, it's okay. At the same time, I'm very hopeful that we will get more expansion on our main characters, right? Let us move forward. Listen, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. It's engagement. It's important. And you guys know I love to talk to you down below, so don't forget to comment. That's really the most important thing, is that you drop how you felt about this episode. Do you think that the writers jumped the shark in season 2? Did it give you everything you needed? Like, if it never comes back for season 3, are you okay with that? Have you gotten all of the feels out of these last 2 seasons? Let me know. Comment down below. So we're going to talk about some facts, right? That's going to sort of fill in what happened on this episode without giving too much detail. I think it can be done because in actuality this episode wasn't as chock full as we were expecting the season finale to be. So let's just talk about it. Fact number 1, grandmother Ernestine has recovered from C-19. Okay, and is now dying instead to have a party that is planned and hosted by Big L, random, right? And a French African boyfriend, additionally random, right? Where was this guy when she's walking blind down to the river? And is it me? Could Ernestine see in this episode? Okay. We also get to see fact number 2 that Andre has lost the election in this episode. It's not a big spoiler because the election really wasn't that important. We learn in this episode it wasn't pivotal at all. It was just more storyline scene filler. We also learn in this episode that Andre, the most he did was knock up Autumn. Outside of that, where's the Andre character going? He's lost the election. He's lost Autumn because his wife is back, and he lost his attempt at divorcing his wife and going on his own way, forging his own way. Somehow, through all the arguments that they have had, he has come to the idea that he's going to do his own thing and she can hang on if she wants to. Not, no, I don't want to be with you. I want a divorce. I want to do my thing and you go do your thing. He says, this is what I'm doing. If you want to hang around for it, you welcome to, right? The gist of it, right? He was like, I'll go do this and you go do that and we'll both be fine. That's what we wanted anyway. But she was like, I don't know if that's what I want. He was like, well, let's see what that mouth do, right? That's not right. That was inappropriate. We see what that mouth do. Let's see what them actions do. That's what I meant. Okay, so fact number 3, Keyshawn ain't going nowhere, you guys. They built it up like Keyshawn was going to make this big move. We did think something was going to happen between her and Derek. We did think there was going to be some interaction with her and Derek. But we did think it was going to be a little bit more climactic than what it was. It kind of sort of fell flat, and we're going to talk about it a little bit. Keyshawn's not going anywhere but jail. Period. And Derek is still alive. I know. Womp, womp, womp. We see that fact number 4, Big Bone is the sneaky, snitchy snake that everyone thought she was, okay? Basically, that is how the episode ends, with Big Bone giving us one of the largest backstabbing moments in the history of backstabbing moments. 5. The 5th fact, we get to see where Roulette is the Pink's newest pimp, and she is running all of the hoes, including the ones with peens and pudges, right? Okay. I love the Roulette character, you guys. I'm one of the things I'm excited to see if we do get a season 3 is the Roulette character. I love the gum popping. I love that whole way she looks up and down. Like she could be one of our better characters. Hopefully we get an opportunity to see a little bit more of Roulette, and hopefully she gets some really thoughtful writing for her character in which to sort of fill the character out a little bit more, right? So let's start with Mercedes. Mercedes dances her last dance. We kind of talked about it, that the song that she heard from Lil Murder that he had written, 7 Pounds of Pressure, I think is the name of the song. And so when they get the fight settled down, get the festivities going again, Tina Snow has gone on. She has decided she's not going to do this with the fighting and the shooting and all of this stuff in this ghetto club. And Lil Murder has stayed behind. He hasn't hopped on the tour bus to go with her. He's hung out and stayed behind. It's not very well explained. It's just, this is just what it is, you guys. And so we're just going to deal with what we've been given. Okay? And she does her last dance, and she does it to this song, and Mercedes kills it. I would like to have seen her pan out on her a little bit and just give us like the full beauty of what she was doing. But Mercedes, she left it all on the floor there at the Pink. It also was a really good performance by Lil Murder. I think his performance he did with Tina Snow wasn't as good. This set that he did this go round, it felt a little bit more authentic, like in season 1 when he performed. And so Also, Maine is there. Even though there was this big brawl and this big fight, both Maine and Lil Murder are still here in the club, except Lil Murder is on stage and he doesn't start the song right away with the music. They try to. He has them cut the music and then he reads the lyrics out loud and brings the musical accompaniment in a little bit later. And when he does this, he's looking right at Maine. He's talking almost directly to Maine. He's talking about the song, but that song has a lot behind it. And Maine catches everything Lil Murder is putting down. Maine is picking it up, right? And he's associating Mercedes dancing for Lil Murder during his rollout of this song. Maine is associating that with Mercedes being affiliated with Lil Murder and affiliated with Lil Murder's gang. He doesn't take it well at all, okay? And so, like I said, Keyshawn killed it, and it's not Keyshawn, I'm sorry. Mercedes kills it, and the thing about it is, Clifford really thinks that she's back. She's gonna be his number one draw once again, and she's gonna be back at the Pink full time. But no, absolutely not. We also get to see where she's she's collected a lot of money from this dance, and it's something that she can put on in her kitty and continue to build from it. She still doesn't know what she wants to do. She just knows what she's not into anymore, what she's not doing anymore. And there's this heartfelt moment between her and Clifford where she says, "That was my last dance. I'm not going to dance here anymore." And she starts to think about, like, how am I going to move forward? And so she gets a delivery, and it is a poster from the photo biopic exhibit, and there's a check for $30,000. She calls over to Farrah, and Farrah explains those are her royalties from Farrah using her likeness. And she's telling her, this isn't money you got to earn on your knees. This is money that will continue to come to you, as a part of your legacy. Like, this is one for the history books. Like, it is solid, and this is all your talent. You deserve this. And it's a good moment. I want to see more of Farrah. I think completely non-sexual. I feel like they could be good friends and they could be good for one another. So I'm hoping that we can see Farrah in season 3, if there is a season 3. So Mercedes makes a decision. She decides, I'm going to bring, since the Mercedes experience is not going to earn me money on the pole anymore, I'm going to see if I can parlay it and flip it. And she turns her studio into a studio that's going to teach others how to pole dance. And we talked about on TSF Entertainment today, we did a 1 o'clock panel on P-Valley. And we talked about all the myriad of ways that Mercedes can parlay her talent and the Mercedes experience into an income stream for her. And it just seems like she's well on her way to doing this. She's got her studio decked out and cleaned up, and in walks the new mayor of Chucalissa, which is Mayor Bishop Woodbine. Because she says she's holding crown jewels in the political world and in the church world. So call her Mayor Bishop, right? But for us, she's going to be Mayor Dragon, right? There is these moments of comic relief where Patrice goes into her new office and falls out of the chair. And it's this whole little thing that, okay. And so she goes to see Mercedes, and she's looking around the space, and Mercedes is in her Zen space. Like, she's centered and focused on what she wants to do. She's not going to give Patrice Woodbine any power anymore. And so even though I wanted her to take a running leap into her clavicle, she doesn't. She does take a couple of little digs, and Patrice just kind of gathers that, and she tells her she talked to Shell. Shell's going into rehab, and she's decided to give Patrice, of all people, custody of Terica. And Patrice got other things to do. She's busy. She's already raised her children, And obviously, Mercedes has turned out well, even though I have beaten you down, stolen from you, stole property from you and money from you, ruined your reputation, and every chance I get to talk down to you, to belittle you, and to demean you, I do. But still, I ain't raising no children. I'm done with that. Terica's all yours. Is this how this works? Is this how child custody? Okay, it's fine. It's fine, whatever. This is what we've been given, and this is what it is. Okay, everyone? So let's move forward. Mercedes is so glad to have Terica there, and Terica's standing there like, the Lollipop Guild. I'm with the Lollipop Guild. And then at other times, she looks like a grown woman who smokes Benson and Hedges. Like, I don't understand this whole Terica character, but that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So Mercedes packs Terica up and she takes her home, right? Go in there and get your room together. But first, I want to introduce you to Maine. Maine and his boys is outside. So she brings her over and she said, Maine, this is my daughter Terica. And Terica, for a split second, was kind of flirting with Maine a little bit. I was like, I don't like that at all. Anyway, she scooped boots. Terica on into the house. Go on in the house and settle down there, ma'am. Right? I was like, ooh, if it's a season 3, Terica's gonna give Mercedes hell. Pure hell, right? Again, check out TSF Entertainment because we did talk about what we think Terica's gonna be like in the future. And I would love to hear what you guys think just from this scene alone. You think Terica's gonna end up pushing up on Maine? You think she's gonna end up selling drugs for Maine, like being a part of his gang? Like, does Mercedes need to move ASAP? Is it just me, or does she need to move ASAP? Y'all let me know. Put it down below. So, then she talks to Maine a little bit about, hey, did you see my last dance? What did you think? He was like, it seemed like to me, you over there siding with Lil Murder and his gang. And if you with them, you can't be with me. I mean, just aggressive and snarling and like, and she was like, I don't understand what you mean. I was just dancing with the pink. He was like, yeah. Yeah, that's what it looked like. But it also looked like you siding with them. We at war with them boys. So you either with us or you against them. If you against us. And she was like, I don't understand why you're talking to me like this. I don't understand why you're acting like this, sir. I was like, yeah, these are the many faces of a thug. You ain't got to put up with this, ma'am. You can pack up, lock, stock, and barrel and move if you want to. If and you want to. You can move your daughter to a better place. Okay. And we also get to see Sadie's and Terica go to Grandmother Ernestine's party, right? Mercedes looks so pretty. We get to see Autumn. Okay, so Autumn never gets the opportunity to tell Andre that she is pregnant. Okay, because remember, they go in the house, they're kissing and clawing at each other, and the wife is there. Okay, he and his wife basically argue while Autumn is standing there watching until she excuses herself. And he lets the wife know that he's following his own path and that she's welcome to stay around if she wants to. But, you know, he gonna do his own thing. She got to get in where she fit in. I was like, but Autumn? I thought you wanted to get to know Autumn? What happened with that? Is Autumn supposed to be like a third wheel? Like, how was you going to work all this out, sir? This was before you knew you had lost the race. I digress. Whatever. Anyway, so after it's discovered that he loses the mayoral race, he decides, I'm still a Chucalissa boy. I still love Chucalissa and all things Chucalissa. I'm going to open a law firm here in Chucalissa. And the crowd is like, yay. And the next thing we see is there's a whole line of women lined up around the corner like this man is single while his wife is standing just like 4 feet away on the front porch. They're all bringing hot dishes like he the new pastor, new single pastor at the church. And he's collecting all these dishes and the women are winking. Autumn gets in line and she's got a Tupperware dish full of cigars. Now, maybe it was for the victory. You know, the mayoral victory. Maybe. But it's still an odd thing to have in a Tupperware dish. I digress. It's a cigar. He takes one out and lights it. They talk about the fact that he's staying, but she's leaving. He wants to know, what was it you needed to talk to me about? And she said, you know what? Some of the best things in the world are left unsaid. I was like, but sis, you carried his 2 babies. I think you need to speak up. But she decides, because she doesn't know, with the wife standing there, where she fits in. She has no idea. It doesn't matter, because she's going to get this money. The referendum still passed, even though Andre lost the mayoral race. So she calls Mae West, and she tells Mae West, hey, listen, referendum passed. You're going to need my place now more than ever, because you got to have water in the state of Mississippi. If you want to build a casino, it's got to be next to water. And so Mae West is like, ma'am, I already got a property. I got another property that is on the waterfront. And I don't need your property. I bet you wish you had taken that $5 million now. Mercedes was like, Autumn was like, oh, I was going to ask for 10, but I think I want 15 million. Mae West was like, I'm not giving you $5 for that property, boo. Should have took the $5 million, because I got somebody else and they going to get all of the money. All of the money. Well, she finds out that it's Corbin. We all find out that it's Corbin. Okay, Corbin, when his brother was in office, and it sounds like they may be working with the new mayor, Mayor Dragon, and was able to get the Mississippi River diverted into a canal next to his property. And now he's clearing that property out, because that's where they're going to build the promised land. And I'm not sure if he's selling the property so much as leasing the property. Remember, Andre made the suggestion to Autumn. Who is Andre? We don't know. We don't know whose side Andre on. We don't know. Okay. I mean, I don't know. He's another inconsistently written character, right? Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm prepared to be wrong. Put it down below. Okay. So she storms into Clifford's office, and he is ready. He's got a $250,000 check, the one that Corbin gave him for whipping his back. He got that check, and he's going to give it to Autumn. Here's the $250,000 you invested to save the pink. The pink isn't for sale anymore. I have rights to. I have usurped all of the contractual obligations that we had as partners. I'm giving you your money back. Go on and get out of here. You don't know anything about friendship and loyalty and legacy and all of this stuff, and how important it is for us to keep this shack with strippers and drugs and ne'er-do-wells afloat. I don't want long-term money. I don't want legacy money. I don't want money for my children's children. I want to be the madam and hostess at a doggone strip club. That's what I want my legacy to be. Keep your millions, ma'am. I say good day. Autumn was like, well, you should give me some interest or something. He was like, you ain't getting nothing but what I done gave you. And she was like, I'm not going to let this stand. And we look over her shoulder, and there is Diamond with a chainsaw. Bull crap. And Big L with a hatchet, a knife, a shotgun, or something. Bull crap. This is supposed to be a thinly veiled threat towards Autumn. It ain't even neither one of y'all character. This ain't how y'all been written at all. Really? Really, Diamond? You being led by the nose so much so that you have pulled out a chainsaw to veilly threaten Autumn? Child, bye. Horse Pucky. Okay? Horse Pucky. Stand by that. So he ushers her on out, and he feels like, this was a very satisfying moment for Clifford. He just felt like he saved his family legacy. He saved the property, and he came up $250,000. He doesn't find out until later that Autumn wasn't going to go quietly. He doesn't find out until after he has a conversation with Lil Murda about what he had going on. And Big L comes to get him. Even though Big L has been fired, he's still in charge of the books. He comes to get him to show him that his checking account is negative $24,000. Now, I think she took $40,000 and maybe he had a bill or something come in, or a check or something come in, and it bounced and it left him $24,000 in the negative. It don't matter either way. It goes back to what I was saying about Clifford's not smart about money. You traded out what could possibly have been millions, first of all, for $250,000, and it has left you busted. Okay, you didn't pay Autumn off out of $1 million. You paid Autumn off out of everything you had. Now you tell me how this comes out is supposed to be a win, because he kept the pink, the dilapidated, falling down clothes every other week pink, full of pimps and hoes and dejected individuals. Really? You don't take the opportunity to parlay this opportunity to be bought out in whatever capacity. You don't work with Autumn in order to build a more solid legacy for you and your girls. You send Autumn on your way, and you just as flat, busted, and broke as you was the day she walked into that auction. Okay, and I stand by the fact that, yeah, they may have killed Montavious to keep Montavious from taking Autumn, but they also killed Montavious to keep Montavious from killing them. Right? He was going to kill Mercedes too. And Clifford was a scared little rabbit in the corner. Right? Y'all all saved yourselves from Montavious. We didn't know how the Montavious thing was going to shake out, but we know he was going to leave there with Autumn, and if y'all was going to even remotely stop him from taking Autumn, he was going to mollywop all of y'all, if y'all had not mollywopped him first. I'm just saying, how did Clifford come up? I want to hear from you. Put it down below. Okay? All right. So, yeah, no $10 million, and she learns what Corbin did, how Corbin came up in the game. Now, at the same time, we get to see Corbin sitting on the front porch with his brother, who has belittled and berated him, but they apparently have worked together. They've and Clifford is giving them all of the ammunition they need to work together. And so you make millions for Corbin. Is there some residual deal that you had with Corbin? We see Corbin walk out onto his property and, just yell in excitement because he's about to make this loot, and it kind of pans out and you see where they cleared off all this land and the water is running on the other side of the tree line where they're clearing, and he looks like he's coming up. Meanwhile, Clifford's got what? Exactly. Bupkis. Last thing we see from Autumn is that she is taking her twin little nuggets in her belly and her best Mary Kay suit, and she's hopped on a bus with her trash bags, and she's in Chinatown somewhere in the United States. So if there's a season 3, we'll probably see Autumn, but probably not until episode 6 or 7 of season 3. I'm prepared to be wrong about that, but yeah, I don't think so. So let's talk about Clifford. Okay, so Clifford comes out of season 2 as the supposed big winner. I would argue that point, but let's go with it, right? You guys really, really love the Clifford character. I think he's underdeveloped. I think the character hasn't been fleshed out. I don't think we know anything about Clifford at all. And what we do learn is just crumbs as it pertains to the whole story. But I digress. He comes out of the big winner. Like I said, he is gotten grandmother Ernestine back and the pink back, and now he's got his man back. I personally would have been willing to see the grandmother Ernestine character pass on if it was going to push the Clifford character into a much more layered, textured position to share. I think that just giving us this one-sided dimension of the Clifford character really did a disservice to what they were trying to accomplish as a whole, which I think is like this normalizing of a person's having their own individuality, and this love dynamic. You know what I'm saying? We could have done better with the Clifford character, in my opinion. We see where Little Murder decides to leave Chucalissa, stay in Chucalissa, leave Chucalissa, stay in Chucalissa. Right? We see where, despite being given the green light from Clifford to leave, he stays. We do get to see a moment where Clifford is sort of daydreaming and he sees his mom, Beulah, and he thinks she's there to take Ernestine. Your mom is not the Lord, Clifford. Okay? It's not the Lord. The Lord can come for your grandmother. Okay? And it don't have nothing to do with Beulah. Beulah is not that powerful. But I digress. It is what it is. You know, he wants to tell her about leaving. Don't you leave Ernestine alone. It's just so weird that this is the conversation he's having with his mother. It's this idea that if she's there, that Ernestine is going to leave and go with her. But again, if we knew a little bit more about the Clifford character, except outside of these little glimpses, we know a little bit more about him, except what his butt looks like from the So he sees her, and she kind of scorns him a little bit for running Little Murder off and giving him the green light to go on this tour instead of staying with him. Okay? But, you know, and we learn in this conversation, you know, she feels like you gave up on this love so easily. And we also learned that she actually died from an autoimmune disease. And Clifford said sores and pneumonia. So we are left to assume that it was, you know, AIDS, that autoimmune disease. We don't know for sure, though. We don't know for sure. We don't know how it's going to be rewritten or redirected. Like, we have no idea. We're just assuming, right? This just depends on how those scenes fall on the cutting room floor and how they piece them up and patch them together to make an episode. Right now, it looks like this is how his mom died. We don't learn, you know, how she contracted the disease, if it was from drug use or by any other means that one contracts the virus. We don't know. We just know this is what it is, right? And so, just like that, there's this glimpse and then it's gone. We see later, after he gets all this satisfaction from ousting Autumn, and getting her out of there, he's having this in-depth conversation with Little Murder, and it just falls flat because here comes Big L to tell him, hey, look what I found, that your account is in the negative. And he is so upset and he is so distraught that when Big L offers him 2 of these Xannies or whatever these pills are, he takes them. And the next time we see him, he's outside at the party, at grandmother's party, which is outside on the dance floor. And he's dancing and swaying and feeling good. He's high as Cuda Brown. And this is where we get to see this moment where Clifford has this PDA. What is it? PDA is personal display of affection, a public display of affection from Little Murder, and everyone just melts looking at it, right? And Clifford is just, it's, you know, he's smitten. He's smitten, you know, just by the way Little Murder is coming across. Now, let's talk about Murder. Murder makes a decision, like I said, not only to buy into Keyshawn's escape. This was one of my favorite scenes, was when Keyshawn and Murder kind of promise that they'll keep each other's secret. He's going to keep the fact that she is where she's going and the fact that she's leaving. He's going to keep it a secret. Like, who would he tell? He's getting on a tour bus. He gets off the tour bus to give her the money from when she stripped when Tina Snow was performing. He gets off the tour bus for that. They commit to keep each other's secrets. It's a great moment. There's this handshake. Boom. You know, it's a good moment. I really enjoyed it. She makes a comment about him doing him and being the best him and woo. And he looks back at the tour bus, and the next thing we know, Lil Murder has decided he's not going on the tour bus. He's at grandmother's party, supporting Clifford in his dreams and his efforts. Grandmother's dreams and grandmother's efforts, right? Instead of you going on about your way and doing your own thing and forging your own way with your music. Maybe he's going to do it. Maybe he's going to do it from Chucalissa. Maybe this is the height and the breadth of what he wants to accomplish. I don't know. Ever since Teak, honestly, the Lil Murder character, for me, not the actor, the character Lil Murder falls flat for me. After Teak, it was just like we was in this real high place with the Murder character, and he's just become another accessory, in my opinion, of Clifford's. And we lost the texture of the character, but we gained nothing from our main character, which is Clifford. We gained nothing new at all from the Clifford character. Maybe I'm wrong. Y'all tell me. Y'all put it down below. Well, he tells Clifford that, he has decided, like I said, to buy into his own happiness. Despite Clifford's support, he chooses to stay and do him as his own authentic self in Chucalissa. He's going to come out. Basically, people going to know that we together, and I'm okay with them knowing. He breaks down and tells Clifford about how he met Teak in jail. Basically, he kind of wooed Teak. He saw him, he liked him, he wanted him. I likes you, and I want you. And how he set about orchestrating getting him and Teak alone. And it's this moment. And he also tells him how that relationship sort of evolved from this place where they were like groping in corners and stuff and doing them to where they actually really loved each other. There was real love from both of them. And how it all unraveled for them, for both of them, when Teak unalived himself. And it's supposed to be this really touching moment, and I can feel J. Alphonse trying to sort of get it there, but I'm telling you, there is a big barricade between these two actors. For me, I don't care how much they kiss and make love and talk. I don't find there to be a lot of authenticity between these two characters. And maybe that's why I have a problem with Clifford. Because I really am losing in my mind, maybe, I'm really losing Lil Murder. I'm losing the Lil Murder I love. For the Lil Murder that Clifford loves. And I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that assessment. Put it down below. Okay. So, like I said, we see where he tells Clifford that he's not afraid of soaring high, because Clifford was like, you're afraid to go on this tour, you're afraid to be a success. And I think it is plausible, but I also think it's more plausible that he feels guilt about the relationship that he had with Teak. He feels guilt about how it ended, and he may be low-key worried about Uncle Clifford, and feeling like if I leave Uncle Clifford, the same thing is going to happen to Clifford. That could be it too. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that and put that down below. We also get to see where he just wants, to genuinely, it seems like to me, to be grounded with Clifford. And I feel like Murder proves this fact by kissing Clifford out in open in front of everyone, for everyone to see. This is why I said I think Grandmother Ernestine could see, because she looked like she was looking right at them. Her eyes was open and everything. And again, the moment fell flat for me. It just wasn't, I don't know. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. So that's Lil Murder, right? Lastly, let's talk about Diamond. Keyshawn leaves Lil Murder, and she goes to her sister's house, and she's going to collect her children. Her stepmother answers the door just like she did that night when she was pregnant with the first baby, and she told her she wasn't gonna let her in out of the pouring rain to go back home to her abuser. Now she answers the door, and she's all ushy gushy and sugary sweet, but it's full of venom and poison. She tells them how much she loves seeing the children. Their hair is just growing, and they just look so beautiful. And she called Derek and told Derek that the kids was there, and that how beautiful the kids was. She knew she was taking a dig at Keyshawn. She knew Keyshawn was shocked, and she looked more frightened than ever. And it's in this moment we think, oh, this is where this whole Keyshawn and Derek thing is going to come to a head, and we're going to see some full on. But no. Keyshawn leaves there after she sees the betrayal of her family in whatever capacity, and she goes to see if Derek is at home with the kids, and he is. He's sitting in the floor with cat hair on his top lip and dog hair on his bottom lip. This silky blondish reddish hair gripping his it was disgusting. He's sitting there playing with the kids, and CPS is there and a police officer. And when they read her the charges, that they know that she took took the baby to the hospital, know that there were bruises, and even though she hears you're not good enough, you're too black to have, all of this negative stuff, that's what she hears. What the lady is saying is, because you took the children, we think that you are the one that did it, and so therefore we taking custody of the kids away from you. And Derek is sitting there kind of smiling a little bit, like he doesn't let on how much he knows or what he knows, or if it was him that called CPS. Was it Big Bone that called CPS? Like, did Big Bone alert him and then he called CPS? We don't know any of those things. Keyshawn kind of loses it, and I say kind of because it was a really poorly shot scene where she seemed to kind of jump on him a little bit, but it was like these open hand hit. It was just awkward. It wasn't well acted at all. And supposedly she snapped. It just wasn't a snap moment for me. But in the interim, she pulls her hand back and she hits the cop. And that is actually why she was arrested. Goes to jail. Diamond is sitting there at the party, and they're having a good time and eating. And he gets a phone call from Keyshawn. Big Bone looks at him like, I know that's Keyshawn you talking to. Keyshawn says, my hair wasn't long enough. I'm going to need somebody to climb up in this tower and save me, because I don't realize that I can save myself. I need someone else to do it for me. And he was like, okay, sure. He goes to his trunk, pops the trunk, makes sure he's got all his artillery there, because I'm not just going to pay for her to get out of jail. I'm going to shoot her out. It's going to be a shootout. That's how I'm going to get my girl out her tower, right? Like, it was ridiculous. And someone walks up behind him and shanks him in the side. I mean, it looks like a pretty bad wound. Like, we think, oh no, Diamond's going to be the one to get it. And then we see these two ninja-like characters pretty much just mollywop Diamond and throw him in the trunk. It's Big Bone and one of the men and a man who is a part of the organization that Montavious was in. Remember Montavious says people gonna come looking for him? Well, it's Big Bone and one of his, his fraternity brothers, I guess. And so they throw him in the trunk, and they're not going to kill him yet. That would be too easy. They're just going to teach him a good lesson, right? Close the trunk down, episode goes off. So, I don't know if there's going to be a season 3. I'd love for you guys to tell me what you guys thought of this episode. Did it fall flat for you? Like it did for me? Do you feel like the writers jumped the shark? You think it was because of COVID or this lawsuit or what? I don't know. I'm not sure. And I don't know. I want my old character Murder back. I want to see a little bit more from Waldy. I wouldn't mind having that. I just think there's a lot of really underdeveloped, unfleshed out moments that I think could have led to a more textured, more full-bodied season had we done it. But again, maybe it was COVID. Maybe it was the lawsuit. I don't know. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd love for you to put it down below and let's discuss it. And I'd love to hear what you guys thought of this season. You know, are you excited, disappointed? Are you neutral about a possible season 3 or the lack thereof? Let me know. Put it down below. Have a great Sunday, you guys, and until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I holla.